Hey, Jamie Stenhouse here, just currently hanging out in Paris for New Year's Eve, and I wanted to share a bit of an insight that I learned when working with my private one-on-one clients with the Dream Team Intensive. Now, this is a program that helps agency owners, entrepreneurs, and digital marketers to build a high-performing virtual team. However, once we create that team for them, once we show them the skill sets of how to hire, outsource and process things so that that company can run automatically for the people inside the Dream Team Intensive, the next question is, okay, well, how do I improve my own output? How do I manage my time correctly so that I can get the most out of myself every single day? And this was an insight I learned personally, whereby once I began to outsource everything and I began to create my core team for my agency and then for my software company, it was really like, okay, well, how can I improve myself? How can I use my time more efficiently? How can I begin to multiply myself and multiply my time? So today, while I'm here in Paris outside of the Louvre, I want to share with you my time management tips and really how I plan every single day. So you may have heard of the 4-hour work week. Unfortunately, I am not at the point yet where I can work 4 hours only per week. However, I am at the point now where I can travel, I can operate my agency, my software company, and a few other projects and companies I have behind the scenes in about 3 to 4 hours per day, usually less depending. For me, a busy day is about 4 hours of proper work, and I want to share with you how that is able to happen. And it's a mixture of two things. Yes, it's having the team in place and having the processes and all of that. I've covered that in previous videos before, and also I've talked about it a lot inside the Dream Team Intensive if you are a part of that program. The other aspect is, okay, well, I can create this automated agency, this automated machine using these teams and Jamie's insights and Jamie's processes and how he hires and all of that. What about myself? I am a working machine as well. How can I get more output from myself? And yes, you can work longer, harder, and smarter as well, but it's really about how you plan every single day and what you do in the time you have allocated within each day. So in this clip, I don't want to share how I plan every hour by hour. I don't want to influence you to tell you what you should be doing or why you should be doing it, but more so how you should be approaching and how you should be breaking down every single day. So for myself personally, I break down my day into 3 components. The first component is my creative, more so genius input work. So this is anything that I need to create. It could be new IP for the Dream Team Intensive clients. It could be creating new processes, hiring someone for my agency, or hiring someone for the software company, or anything that requires my creativity. I want to complete this in the first 2 hours of every single day. Now for myself, I get up at around 4:30 each day, and between about 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. is when I do these real heavy duty creative genius input tasks. I tend to see that that is when I have the most willpower available. It's when things are quiet as well. So there's no new emails coming in, the team is still asleep, so I'm able to complete things quickly and easily, and generally social media is pretty quiet as well. So the first 2 hours for myself are my creative time. It's where I create new parts of the machine or new projects, or I hire someone for our agency, or as I said, the software company. It's where I manually have to do something before everyone else is awake. From there, the second part of my day, which usually takes up around 2 to 3 hours depending, is where I begin to communicate with the team. So for myself, every hour I put in towards the team in terms of outsourcing, delegating, screening tasks, approving tasks, I get around 2 to 3 hours back from that. So an hour in, 3 hours back. So if I can spend 2 to 3 hours per day working with my team, then they can do, well, 3, 6, 9 hours per day. So I'm putting in 3 hours, I get back 9 hours from my team. Pretty cool, huh? And if you want to learn more about that, hit me up about the Dream Team Intensive. We go through that whole process and how to make sure that you can multiply yourself and multiply your time. So between about 7 a.m. and 9 to 10 a.m. is when I'll begin to outsource tasks, delegate things, screen work that the team has been doing overnight, approve certain tasks, or just really work with my team one-on-one. From there, I would delegate out everything that I would have to do for the whole day. So I might plan my day the night before or the week before, right? Anything that is on my to-do list, if it be coordinate with clients or talk to printers or talk to our copywriter or approve this or design this or plan that, whatever it is, I'm taking my list and I'm plugging it into my team in between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. so that by the time 10 a.m. rolls around, my team is up and they have 30, 40, 60 or more tasks to complete for that day. And that's the only time I communicate with my team. So I'm not checking in on them every hour by hour, seeing what they're up to, approving their work or helping them out. We've set up our tasks in a way that allow our team to solve problems on the fly on their own. The first 2 hours are used for that creative genius type task where it's my own intellectual property that I'm putting out to scale and grow and really expand the empire. From there, the next 2, sometimes 3 hours, if it's a really big morning, I'll outsource everything I have to do. So for example, clients might throw me tasks or a problem might happen. Great, no worries, I'll put it on tomorrow's list and I'll outsource it the very next morning. So I'm outsourcing everything. Anything that comes to me, I'm quickly delegating it to my team. 4 tasks here, 20 tasks here, 2 tasks here, 4 tasks there, 9 tasks there, just outsourcing all of it between that 3-hour block. Then the third aspect of my day comes in this. And this is where really things get easy. I think if you know me personally or you follow me on Instagram or anything like that, I'm usually complete by about 10, 11 a.m. I'm all done. Like I've done all of my work. So then you might be asking what happens then. You've worked 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours per day. If it's a really long day, I've done all my creative intellectual property work where I'm creating, expanding, growing. My team have now been assigned all of their work for the whole day. What do I do then? Well, then I really sit back and work with the dream team intensive clients, or I sit back and talk to clients from my agency. I'm there now just to respond, handle calls, maybe take a few emails, anything like that. So pretty much from about 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. is my whole day, usually of a lot of heavy grind work, which in my world is me doing creative things that I enjoy and then me doing outsourcing tasks to my team so that I don't have to do them. And that's how I plan my day in 3 simple blocks. The first block is creative IP genius work. The next block is outsourcing and delegation to the team before they get up, before they begin the day. The third block is, of course, then just responding, hanging out with clients, hanging out with your team, just doing anything that you want, making sure everything is operating as it should be. I'm really on call from about 11 a.m. till about 8 p.m. I guess for my clients, for my team. If there are any issues at all, I'm just really hanging out, responding to emails, talking to other people in our headquarters here, and just really doing whatever I want. And that is purely because I set up the first 4 hours to do the creative IP task, then outsourcing and delegating to the team. Usually we set up the task for that morning, for that afternoon, and we don't check it till the next day. So how the workflow looks like is I would set a task in the morning. I would close our little team portal, which for us we use Basecamp. If you're inside the Dream Team Intensive Program, you've probably seen that many a times before. You know how much I love using Basecamp for my agency and the software company. So we would set up our task, close our Basecamp account. The team would update everything in the next 12 to 14 hours. We would then sleep and we come in the next morning, we review anything that we need to, we apply changes, and we outsource again. So it's a constant back and forth between me and my team over the span of about a 24-hour period. I would outsource, I would close the app, they would complete the work, they would close the app. So we're all operating smoothly and independently without having to check in on each other throughout the day. My team knows how to solve problems because we've given them the resources, the training, the processes, the thought insights to, okay, well, what's the outcome we're trying to achieve here? And if we have a problem, how can we not interrupt Jamie and solve that on our own? So a bit off tangent here, but once again, those 3 cornerstones that I use to plan my day are, of course, the huge creative genius IP task in the morning. You're fresh, there's no interruptions, you have the most willpower at that time in the day. From there, once it is all done, I outsource and delegate, because for every hour I put into that, into outsourcing and delegating, I get about 2 to 3 hours back every time. So if I put in 2 hours into outsourcing and delegation, I get 4 hours back. Pretty good investment. So do it at the beginning of the day. From there, respond to the client hires, respond to the client dramas, respond to your team if need be. Be on social media, create content like this. Do whatever it is that you can that is not so creative, not so IP driven, doesn't involve your team, but now that you have the whole day free, you can do other things in between that. And those first 2 elements of doing the creative IP genius work and then outsourcing to my team is really where I spend the 4 hours most importantly every single day, and that drives my whole day. Like if I don't do anything else, we're still profitable, we're still growing. Those 2 aspects alone are really everything that I need to do for each of my companies, and I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you to coordinate, okay, well, I should be doing my creative things first. Maybe I have to get out of bed a little bit earlier. At least it gets done, right? Then from there, outsource to your team. If you don't have a team, hit me up about the Dream Team Intensive. So that's it from me in front of the Louvre here in Paris. I will chat to you soon, of course. Happy New Year and happy outsourcing.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yasmin.
Ooh la la! That was actually really cool.
That was really cool.